Ergotron products are used throughout emergency departments, from nurse bedside documentation to doctors and scribes to registration, translation services, and the army of techs it takes to support chaotic, fast-paced emergency department operations. Some of the most common tasks that Ergotron workstations are used for in EDs are EMR documentation, patient registration, translation services, and then some specialty uses like telehealth or phlebotomy. Let's take a look at things by task. First, for EMR documentation, some EDs use just wall workstations, some use just WOWs, and some use both simultaneously. The type of wall workstation used in an ED, patient room, or bay is dictated by available space or space constraints and the nurse patient needs, and they also need to be able to be moved out of the way quickly. The two most common type of wall-mounted workstations that we see in EDs are either something low profile for very space-constrained rooms or something with full articulation that permits maximum patient-nurse interaction. Some EDs use carts only, aka workstations on wheels. This allows for nurses to quickly and easily roll their workstation with them as they tend to multiple patients and move from bay to bay, and always having their workstation with them with a usable work surface, sometimes even with their core med supplies with them as well in the cart's drawers. Carts can be a great way to deal with space constraints in tight ED bays and be a part of helping nurses with an efficient and useful tool or workbench. It is also not uncommon to see both types of workstations being used in an ED at the same time. For instance, a nurse can be documenting on the in-room wall-mounted workstation while a doctor and/or scribe roll a card into a room for their own documenting, and someone else may come in with a registration card. Another function that takes place in ED patient rooms and bays is patient registration and patient intake. This is usually done via a separate department operating side by side with the caregivers. These people need to move their mobile office workstation from room to room with some standard and core supplies of paper forms, folders, papers to give to patients and families, document scanners, credit card readers, signature pads, and sometimes printers too. These carts are tailored to their needs and their preferences and are based on our style view line of carts. Translation services within EDs are often via a tablet on some sort of small cart which gets shared among rooms or wings. While these are small footprint carts, stability is quite important, so make sure the base is solid and weighty so it's safe around patients and staff. Some EDs have robust telehealth capabilities and the tools to tap into a vast network of remote specialists. So these EDs need a pretty universal telehealth hub, especially when not knowing how the variety of daily cases are going to present. Something like the StyleView Telehealth Hub accommodates and stores all the medical diagnostic devices and even has the capability for a network cable to be plugged into the cart. Now, how to meet the power demands in an emergency department and power mobile EMR workstations for efficient uptime. While traditional life battery power carts with the battery integrated into the base work quite well, they do require the nurse to think about when and where to plug the cart in occasionally to keep it charged. And depending on how the ED operates and census, this can sometimes be disruptive to the patient critical task and even be an anxiety point for nurses. So another option for this always-on type of workflow is our Life Connects Hot Swap power system, which can help alleviate that power anxiety. The Life Connects Hot Swap power system still provides ample runtime, and it has a very logical, intuitive way to monitor battery health and swap batteries. In the emergency departments, a Life Connects Hot Swap battery system is a really good match for always-on nurse and patient intake tasks. In closing, these are just some of the ways Ergotron products are used in emergency departments. Hopefully breaking things down by task was helpful. Documentation, patient intake and registration, translation services, telehealth. We also talked quickly about the pros and cons of how to power these workstations in emergency departments. If there's something in here that resonates or prompts you to want to have a conversation, please be sure to let your Ergotron rep know.